Hey guys, what's up? 80s Revolution back here with kind of a unique video. Obviously, I'm in a different scene or different backdrop that you're used to seeing me in, but basically what I'm doing here is what I'm going to call a wrap-up video. So we just did 8 videos focusing on the LJN wrestling superstars, the action figures. Took a look at every figure up close, took a look at some carded figures, talked about a lot of history of these figures, what they meant to me. And I ended it kind of promptly. And since posting the 8th video, I've had a ton of questions about some of the figures, how I display them, where did my original collection go. Some people, when I was talking about meeting some of the wrestlers and having pictures with them, some of you guys said, hey, let's take a look at those pictures. So I decided that if I'm going to do a long series of videos focusing on a specific item or genre, like the 8-part LJN wrestling figure series, I'm going to do a wrap-up video. So basically a wrap-up video is me going to be kind of summarizing what we just spent 8 videos talking about and answering any kind of outstanding questions that you guys have asked throughout the video series. I'm going to call this a wrap-up video. So this is the LJN WWF Wrestling Superstars wrap-up video. So really the reason that I decided to do this was that somebody asked me a question of how I display my figures. I showed you up close and personal reviews of the figures, and someone asked, well, how are they displayed? Well, I will show you how they're displayed. And also somebody asked me, what did you know, where are all your original figures? Where's all your original stuff? Where did it all go? Why did I have to start buying all this stuff back again? I will tell you about that. There's been some discussion about the Hasbro Sargent Slaughter figure that, you know, we will mistakenly referred to as the LJN Sargent Slaughter. Well, it's not the LJN Sargent Slaughter. It's not an LJN figure. It's a Hasbro figure. It's actually a G.I. Joe figure. And so I'll kind of address that a little bit. And what else? Oh, I think, so pictures of wrestlers, pictures with me, anyway, a wrap-up video. That's what we're going to do right now. We're going to do a wrap-up video. And every time I do, like I said, a longer series with you guys, I'm going to do a wrap-up video. I might do this again when we talk about the Hasbros. I'm not going to finish the Hasbros in 2 videos. I'm going to take my time and do 6 or 7 or 8 series with you on Hasbros. We may do this when I go through my NES collection. We might do a wrap-up video when I talk about board games specifically and I show you my board game collection. So the longer time I take with you guys, which is what I like to do, I'll do a wrap-up video. So let's take a look at question number 1. How do I store my figures? Let's take a look at that now. Not right now, about 8 seconds from now. Okay, let's go. So basically, I have 2 ways of storing my stuff. I have shelves. I have bookshelves. These are like $20 from Walmart, Big Lots, whatever. Really cheap, put together bookshelves. But I also have this shelving bracket system. So basically, you buy one of these long brackets from Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, and you screw it into the wall. Make sure you're using, make sure you're hitting a stud or you're using, mollies. So basically this is a long bracket. It basically goes from the ceiling all the way down to the floor. And clipping onto that bracket are these brackets. And sitting on top of those brackets are these planks of wood. And I don't know what the cut is or what the size is, but again, every Home Depot or every Lowe's sells these stripped wood that, I didn't paint or anything. I just put up plain. So basically, this is how I store my LJN loose collection. And it is a complete loose collection, minus the Junkyard Dog with black chain. I do not have Junkyard Dog with his black chain. I have Junkyard Dog red chain. I have Junkyard Dog silver chain. I do not have black chain. But other than that, this is a complete loose LJN collection. Not counting silly paint variants or anything like that. I guess the Junkyard Dog black chain is a silly paint variation, but whatever. So the LJNs take up 3 shelves. Below them are Hasbro's and Galoob's and Remco's up. We're not going to get into that. Above them are ECW, San Francisco Toy Maker. No, we're not getting into that yet. Just the LJNs. So that's how I store my loose figures on the back wall of my collection room. So coming along this way, I have these bookshelves. And this is where I keep my carded LJN collection. So remember when I was telling you that I have these on card, but it's hard for me to get to? So I was only showing you a few of them at a time. That's because I basically butted this bookshelf up against this bookshelf to save some space. And a lot of the cards are kind of way back here, and I can't get to them, especially the ones on the very bottom. So what we have here is 5 shelves full of LJN carded figures. And it goes all the way down to the bottom. And that picks up here with a second shelf where I have about 2.5 shelves full of LJN carded figures. I have not done a count in a while. I know that I am missing some. I only have 3 black cards, so I'm definitely, lacking, Ultimate Warrior and, Haku on card and Warlord on card. And, so it's a near complete carded collection. Will I ever pick up those carded black cards? I don't know. Maybe. But that's how I store the LJNs. I store the loose ones on a shelving bracket system, and I store the carded ones kind of library book style in bookshelves. All right, so that is hopefully question number 1 answered, and let's go get further into some more discussion. Question 2 and 3 coming up right now. All right, back where you're used to seeing me. A awesome subscriber of mine wanted to know basically why did I have to rebuy all of my stuff? Where is my original stuff? Damn it. Why don't you guys get me a beer, please? Where is my original stuff? Well, I told this story a little bit, in some previous videos. Basically, I sold it all. I was about 21, 22 years old, and I needed some money to go out with my friends, and I didn't have any. And I didn't have any money because I didn't have a job. And so I still had all of my original LJNs, still had tons of my original Hasbro figures, probably some Galoobs thrown in there. And I gathered them all up and took them to like a hobby shop. And I got $200 for probably, at the time, I don't know, $700, $800 worth of figures. Got my $200, went out, probably drank half of it, probably ate the other half. So I started regretting it probably a day later. And shortly after that, I started, trying to rebuild the collection. And that morphed into this obsession. So all of my original stuff, or all of my original figures, I sold for beer money. As far as my, original toys from childhood, multiple different ways to lose stuff like that. I moved a ton of times as a kid. My parents bought and sold 3 or 4 houses by the time I was 8. So your stuff goes with it. Every time you move, you lose a little something else. I'm sure stuff got thrown out. I remember selling some stuff at garage sales as a kid. I don't know why, but my mom would have a garage sale and I'd set up my own little table and sell all my stuff like a dumbass. And so just just moving and losing stuff. So that's why, if any of you, so my wife, my in-laws have always lived in one house. So my wife basically grew up in this house, and they never owned another house. So when we go to visit them, it's like a time machine. We go up in their attic or down in their basement, and all of her stuff is up there. All of her school stuff, all of her sticker book collections are up in the attic. I mean, it's amazing. I would have given anything to have grown up in one house and have all of my stuff somewhere in an attic. That would be the greatest thing ever. But I didn't. I moved a ton of times. 20 times maybe. And again, each time I moved, I lost something else, I'm sure. So if any of you guys are parents, you own a house, don't move. Stay in that house. Just fix it. Because your kids will thank you 40 years from now. So that's how the rest of my stuff got, lost. Okay. So the Sargent Slaughter discussion, I identified Sargent Slaughter as LJN Sargent Slaughter, but when I was doing that, I was using air quotes because it's not LJN Sargent Slaughter, it's Hasbro. Like I said, Sargent Slaughter was long gone from the WWF by the time that figure came out. He was a major player in the G.I. Joe cartoon and toy line. There were the 3.5-inch Sargent Slaughter G.I. Joe figures. But Hasbro, and kind of a foreshadowing of their future involvement with the WWF, decided to capitalize on LJN's popularity and produce an 8-inch, which I have, an 8-inch Sargent Slaughter LJN style figure. And they marketed it in the G.I. Joe comics. So you'd get a full color ad that said basically, bring the Sarge home with you. And what was really cool about it was they had Sarge. I'm on the hunt for this ad. So basically, I have to buy up all of the 86 and 87 G.I. Joe comics, and one of those will have the ad in it. But basically, we have your Sargent Slaughter, and he's standing on top of a pile of LJN figures. He's standing on top of Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov. He's standing on top of Jesse Ventura, I think Hulk Hogan, and Hillbilly Jim. And he's like standing on top of this mountain of LJNs, basically defeating all of them. And I just thought that was so cool as a kid. And some people have pointed out that would probably never happen today, that McMahon would probably sue the balls off of Hasbro and G.I. Joe. And I don't know why he didn't, but so that was the only way you could get the Sargent Slaughter. It was never sold in stores. You could only get it through ordering it from the G.I. Joe comic. And I don't remember the price. I think it was $14.99 or something like that. But I don't know if you had have any proofs of purchase or anything like that. But you'd fill out the order form, you'd mail it in a bubble wrap, not in a box, not on card, but wrapped up in bubble wrap. You would get your Sargent Slaughter Hasbro LJN style figure. Great stuff. Great stuff. I couldn't be happier that Hasbro produced that for us. It's awesome. So that's that. So some folks wanted to know, so I've told some stories throughout the LJN review of how I would meet certain wrestlers, when we were talking about, Jimmy Snuka and George Animal Steel. Some people wanted to see some pictures of me with wrestlers. So unfortunately, none of the pictures that I've taken, well, the majority of the pictures that I've taken, I have in physical form. I got them developed. I don't have them on a flash drive or anything like that. So I'll have to show you some actual physical copies of the photos. Yeah, so let me take you through. Now, a lot of these pictures, all of these pictures are from a very long time ago, and I was not as fat. So yeah, they're a little. So here we go. This is from about, I don't know, 10 years ago. This is yours truly, the 80s Revolution, shaved head and all, meeting the one-man gang. And the one-man gang, of course, would go on to be Akeem. And so that's me hanging out with the one-man gang. This is me from around the same time period, maybe a little longer ago, maybe 11, 12 years ago. This is me meeting the Sargent Slaughter. I told you a story about George Steele. When he'd meet you, he'd rip your face off. Now this is a very old picture. I am extremely underdeveloped in this photo. I was not sick. I didn't have any kind of life-threatening illnesses. I was just a skinny mofo back in the day. So this is me getting choked out by George the Animal Steele. Look at that. Rest in peace, George. This is me and a friend meeting this guy named Kamala. Pretty good stuff there. Me and that same friend meeting a guy named Al Snow. A little bit more of a modern name for you. Me and another friend meeting this guy named the living legend Bruno Sammartino. And this guy, I don't know if you've heard of him, his name is Rowdy Roddy Piper. But that's me and the rowdy one. These are very, very old. 10, 12, 13 years old. Me and a friend meeting the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Of course, I quickly jumped on the $1 Million belt and put it over my shoulder and left my friend in the... left him high and dry. And finally, one of my well, there's a lot more, but I just want to show you a few. One of my favorite figures. This guy named Steve Corino, who really, if you've been watching any current wrestling, he's been the commentator for Ring of Honor. He recently left Ring of Honor, and he's now a trainer at NXT, which is the WWE's sort of farm system, I guess. Well, you know, and he was former ECW champion when pretty much during ECW's last little run, their last year, he was the ECW champion. And he had a tag team partner named Ricky Landell. Who, these are just indie, you know, Ricky Landell was, you know, kind of an indie guy, never really did anything, but they came to town, and for some reason, Steve Corino brought the original AWA tag team title with him. I don't know why. I don't know why he had it, but he had it. And he told me, when we met him, he told me that the belt has a crack in it, and it has a crack in the main plate. And he told me that the Rockers, Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels, when they were the AWA Tag Team Champions, early in their career, we're talking 1986, when they were the AWA Tag Team Champions, they were, I don't know, they were young, they probably drank too much, and one night they dropped this belt off of like a balcony and cracked the plate. And the plate had always been cracked, and it was because of either Shawn Michaels or Marty Jannetty, I'm not sure. But anyway, Steve Corino had possession of this belt for some reason, and he brought it to a local indie show several years ago, maybe 12, 13 years ago. And we went, and I got a picture with him in the AWA tag team titles. Apparently, allegedly, the same one that a drunk or stoned or both Marty Jannetty or Shawn Michaels dropped off a balcony and cracked. Anyway, here it is. So that's Steve Corino in the background. This guy, Ricky Landell, a friend of mine, and me with the AWA, the original AWA tag team title. Okay, so that's that. That is the recap video, the LJN Wrestling Superstars recap video. Had a ton of fun making that series with you. Lots more to come. You already know what's coming. Lunchboxes are next. We're going to do that in one video. And then we're going to get back to wrestling, and we're going to go through the Hasbros or the Galoobs. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do first. Galoobs will be one video. Hasbros, I'll stretch out. So yeah, real quick, just because I want to get this out of the way, and I'll put it in the description, like pickups at the end. Let me go through these Blu-ray pickups with you guys real quick, because I want to put them away. I want to catalog them. 4 of these are thrift store pickups. 1 of them is an eBay purchase. We've got 7 on Blu-ray. I do enjoy this movie about the 7 deadly sins. Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, good movie. Adding to the Batman collection, and these are cheap. These are $2.99, again, at a pawn shop. That's okay by me. The Dark Knight, which is like, feels like a ton of discs. Yeah. There's a digital copy. There's the special features. There's the original, there's the Blu-ray. So there's like 3 discs in here. The Dark Knight for $2.99. Batman v Superman for $2.99 at my favorite thrift store in town. Pawn shop, not thrift store. Pawn shop in town. I've never seen Batman versus Superman. I don't really care about modern movies, but it was $2, and I thought, okay, if you're going to watch Batman, and you're going to try to be a big fan, and you're going to try to watch all the movies, you might as well get Batman versus Superman. If it sucks, like I've heard it does, whatever. Batman versus Superman. Then I grabbed this weird horror movie that I'd never heard of before, and it's from why do I always do this? I tell you what, it's from 2012, from Stars Media, a Ford Brothers film, and it's released by Anchor Bay. It's called The Dead. Yeah, I guess it's a zombie movie. And I guess, according to Mark Miller at Ain't It Cool News, it's the best movie. It's the best zombie movie of the year. Basically, it's zombies in Africa. So it's the military meets zombies in Africa. Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out. Apparently, there's a sequel. I'll check this out. It was $2. I got no problem with that. If you've seen it, let me know. If it sucks, let me know. But I'll watch it eventually. Now, some of you guys have been giving me a hard time about not being a big Star Wars fan. Well, that's only because I was so preoccupied with so many other things as a kid that I did not watch Star Wars. I just didn't. I was busy with Freddy Krueger. I was busy with Hulk Hogan. I just didn't watch it. And then time just went on and I never seen it. Well, fine. I've decided to really embrace the geek, really embrace the nerd culture, and dive into Star Wars. And by diving in, I purchased the Star Wars Complete Saga on Blu-ray. We're talking all 6 films. New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. And I will watch them all, and I will rewatch them, and I will try to become a Star Wars lover. And I'm worried about that, because if I do, then I'm going to start wanting the figures from 1979, 1980. And if I start wanting the figures, I'm going to have to put up more shelves, and I'm going to have to get more and more crazy, and it's just going to be nuts. And if that happens, I have nobody to blame but you people. But we'll see. Star Wars Complete Collection Blu-ray. Really great set. I mean, just full of stuff. I think. It's not really full of anything. There's a guide to the galaxy, and then, you know, the discs. Bunch of bonus discs and documentaries and spoofs and all kinds of special features. And you know what? This thing sells at Best Buy still for $89.99. I got this off eBay for $39.99, brand new, sealed. There is a seller on eBay who is selling multiple copies of this for $40, free shipping. So look for it if you want it. It's $40 on eBay, free shipping. He's got about 85 of them. It came sealed. It looks completely fine. Best Buy has it on their shelf currently today for $89.99. So $40. That's that. I'm going to sneeze. Bless me. I've picked up a ton of pops since our last review. We'll do them later. I'll show you those around. But I wanted to do this recap video. Not a recap. What do I call it? Wrap-up. A wrap-up video. So this was the LJN Wrestling Superstars Figure Collection wrap-up show. We are moving on, people. The 80s revolution is gaining steam. I am gaining subscribers. Thank you all. And we're moving on. We're gonna have this whole room reviewed before it's all over. Thanks for your support. Take care, guys.